Remain standing for the National Anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the Invocation. Color Guard, post the colors. Smith will now sing the national anthem. Military personnel in uniform stand at attention, while other attendees, please put your hand over your heart. Veterans may render hand salute.
Say, can you see brotherly light? What a beheld as gleaming, whose stripes and perilous fight, you watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Declan. Outstanding job. Declan is a senior at Conard High School. He'll be attending the University of Cincinnati this fall. Stella Reisinger will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You'll hear more about Stella a little bit later. She's one of our inductees. Color guard, port arms, left face, color guard post. At this time, please remain standing. Monsignor James Canane, Colonel, United States Army, retired, will offer the invocation.
Lord God, our Creator, we thank you for the 20 graduates committing themselves to the service of our nation. Bless their families, friends, and teachers who have supported them with love, care, and even discipline when needed. May they continue to learn and grow in the military service. As they begin this new and exciting adventure, give them a spirit of concern for other service members. May they accept the need to care for the safety and performance and feelings of those around them, and especially an essential unity for military service. May they enjoy this new journey for their own growth and the service of our nation in the noble military profession. We ask this gift of you, our Lord and God, you who live and reign forever and ever. Amen. Let me add my own congratulations to the 20 graduates, and just a reminder that it's a new section of your life, an exciting time coming up. You are going to meet some of the best people in the world, people in military service. You will. Great, great people. And among the many great people that you will meet, and even though you may not believe this, there's one that is going to be very special to you and one who cares very much for you. The drill sergeant. Yeah. Keep that in mind, okay? That you actually heard somebody say that. But the drill sergeant does want you to succeed, believe me. And regardless of what you may feel, hear, or listen to, you got a friend. Take my word for it, okay? Congratulations, and especially to all the family members who have supported you so often. And it's so great to have Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Navy all represented among you. Thanks very much.
Come on, Senior. Please be seated. At this time, the commander of Post 96, Heidi Mooney, will make her opening remarks.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, there we go. Good evening. I'm Heidi Mooney. And 32 years ago, I was sitting in your seats for all the students. And I went through ROTC at the University of Colorado. Originally, I started out as a Navy option, and then I switched to the Marines. And so my thoughts for you guys tonight are that it's going to be a hard path, but it's going to be an amazing path. Along your path, you're going to make incredible friends, friends that you'll have forever, maybe some that are sitting in this room. Parents, take a look at your kid right now for a second. Because who's sitting next to you right now and what they look like is not what they're going to look like in a few weeks from now, a few months from now, when they finish their training. You're going to see a totally different person. And you're going to pretty much be wowed at that. Because that young kid who you sent off will come back straighter, taller, stronger, more confident. And it will really be a transformation that you really can't understand until you see it actually happen. And I know that you'll be very proud of that, but it will blow you away because your child who left will come back a military person who has greater knowledge and a greater understanding of their friends that are next to them, as well as their family. The other thing I want you guys to just think about is we appreciate you, those of us who've served, that you're taking a step that not a lot of people are doing in our community, right? There's 20 of you in here. How many kids are at Hall? How many are at Conard? Or the other private schools that some of you have come from or from other towns? This is a small number in here, but your role is huge. What you guys are going to be doing, how you're going to be helping Americans wherever you serve, whether it's locally in the Guard or whether you get deployed overseas. When I was in the Marines, I think that I moved and was in like 18 different countries in I think the first 5 years that I served. So you potentially will get to travel all over. And for me, that was really exciting when I was young. As I got older, maybe not as exciting to have to move all the time. But you guys have a great adventure ahead of you. And I can say on behalf of the Legion and probably everyone in here, we're very thankful that our future is in the youth that are sitting here who've made this decision to serve our country. It's an important decision. And for those of you who maybe never served and your kids going to serve, because that's how my parents were, neither of my parents were in the military. They were surprised that I chose to go in the military, but I was the 5th kid and they basically were both foreigners and they said, if you want to go to college, you better figure out some way to go. And so I chose to go away where my college would be paid for, and some of you are going that type of a route. Others of you are not maybe going to college right away. It might be something you might look at later, but you're going to go to a trade school, you're going to learn a craft. And I can just say that everyone in this room is in better hands knowing that you guys are the future for the United States. And you're going to carry the torch onwards. Maybe one day your kids may go in, maybe not. That's okay too. But at the end of the day, we're so lucky and so blessed that you guys have chosen this path. And like the Colonel mentioned, we have all the different services represented tonight, which is really exciting to see. But if you went in the Marine Corps or you're going in the Marine Corps, then you know you went in the best one. So I'll say that, and probably the general will agree. But anyway, thank you guys for making this hard decision, and maybe it was an easy decision. Parents, you may feel apprehension, you may feel nervous. I know that my sister lives in town, and 12 years ago she sent her son. He went in the Army, I forgave him, but he's now a Black Hawk pilot. He's been twice to Afghanistan, and now he just got stationed up in Alaska. So I know she felt nervous when her son went off. And it can be a little nerve-wracking, but know that your kids will be in the hands of great leaders that are going to train them and prepare them and get them ready. And those of us in the room who have served can share with you that it's a great experience. And those of us here, we're still serving today because we really believe in it. We believe what you guys are going to do is so important. And so I'm blessed to be here tonight, and I'm excited to meet each of you as the course of the night goes on. So thank you for that decision.
Thank you, Heidi Ann. The annual recognition of military inductees by Post 96 would not be possible without the support of the Board of Education and the Office of the Superintendent of Schools of West Hartford. We're extremely grateful to Tom Moore, Paul Vicinis, and Mary Ann Hall for their support over the last 8 years. At this time, Tom Moore, Superintendent of Schools in West Hartford, will make his annual remarks. Unfortunately, these may be his last remarks since he's leaving for a new position in Chicago area next month.
Thank you, Dr. Knoll. It's interesting when you meet people after you meet their children, or you taught their children in my case, and you know that guy's a good guy just because of his two children who I had the good fortune of knowing at Conard. This is my favorite event of the year. Welcome, General Banta. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, seeing old friends. Mo, I enjoy getting a chance to catch up with people. Seeing the Philippons here, thank you so much for coming. So good to see you. And brings back so many warm memories of students, people, friends, and service. And we keep hearing the word service tonight. And it's about more than your military service, which first of all, let me just say thank you for deciding to serve. Thank you for stepping up. Thank you for putting yourself forward for the rest of us. Thank you for what you've decided you're willing to do for somebody else. And the truth is, that's not going to stop. Because the kind of person that chooses to serve, you're going to be serving your entire life. And I get inspiration from those people. And I just want to take a moment tonight to shout out, and Mo knows this and is there at the start. Command Sergeant Major Paul Vicinis over here is my assistant superintendent and is one of my best friends. And I first met Paul we chaperoned a dance at Conard together, my first year at Conard. It was a 9th and 10th grade dance, as I recall, and it was 9:15, and we looked at each other. We were the only two chaperones, and it was like, why are we the only two chaperones? We're like, because we're the only ones dumb enough to agree to be chaperones at a 9th and 10th grade dance. But it turns out that it was actually service. And then I find out, because I'd be asking on weekends, what'd you do? Or after the summer, where'd you go? And Paul would say, I was at drill, or I had 2 weeks of training. And I'm thinking about what I was doing and how Paul continued to serve. And then, when I was principal at Conard, and Paul led Conard with me with Rosina, and as assistant principal, the call came for him to go to Afghanistan. And gosh, it's just remarkable how I went in saying, how are you feeling about this? You know, expecting some kind of emotions that are torn. There was nothing. It was, this is why I do this. No, this is my time now to serve. But the lesson of Paul is that time doesn't end whenever your tour ends, because he does it every day, and not just because he's still in the National Guard. It's because he's in service, what he does every day, the example he is as a human being. For me, for the people of West Hartford, and for all of you. So, for those of you who haven't gotten to know Paul Vicinis yet, make that effort. For those of you that are going into the service, ask him questions. He's there for you. And for all of us who are lucky because of your service, Paul, thank you very much. Thank you for answering the call. Thank you for not asking why. Thank you for doing, leading, and serving. This country, this community, our schools, our state owes you a great debt of gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. My son Mark said Tom was the best football coach he ever had, and my daughter Lisa thought he was the best history teacher that she ever had. To think West Hartford Schools will be without Tom Moore is kind of hard to believe. At this time, the Hall High School Choraleers are here, and they'll provide a musical interlude while we eat our dinner. We're going to invite you to share our buffet dinner, starting with table number 1, and then we'll go in numerical order. So 1, 2, and you all can figure out the rest. General Banta will give his remarks after the dinner. Thank you. we'll continue with our program. I hope you enjoyed your meal. At this time, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker, Lieutenant General Edward Banta. General Banta is a West Hartfordite. He graduated from Conard High School in 1982. He then graduated from Colgate University in 1986 and was commissioned as an officer in the United States Marine Corps. He's had an extremely exciting 36-year career. He was just promoted last year to the rank of Lieutenant General, which is 3-star. He's been deployed often and served in Operation Desert Shield, Operation Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and also in Afghanistan. He has commanded units at every level, from platoon to company, and all the way up to Marine Air Wing. He was the military assistant to the Secretary of the Navy, and he currently serves as Deputy Commandant for Installations and Logistics for the entire Marine Corps. We are extremely fortunate to have General Banta as our keynote speaker. General?
He said he almost made me a doctor, but that's okay. My dad's a doctor, so didn't quite make it that far. Hey, good evening, everybody. As Colonel Null said, my name's Ted Banta, and I'm here with my family tonight, my mom and dad, Jack and Jane Banta, who brought us back to Connecticut in 1980, and I attended Conard High School for 2 years. Graduated from there before going off to college, and then entered the Marine Corps, and for the last 36 years have been kind of bouncing around the Marine Corps, having an absolutely phenomenal experience. Along the way, I met my wife, Molly, who's here with me tonight, and we've got our youngest daughter, Bergen, who also just graduated from college, and her older sister, Belle, also graduated from college and just left us today to head back to Texas. But it's wonderful to be here and to help recognize the next generation of Americans who are stepping forward to wear the cloth of our nation. And that's a big deal. And I am really glad that the American Legion, the Hayes Village Post, is holding this dinner. And they do it every year, I think, that they can. Maybe there were some interruptions with COVID, but this wasn't happening when I entered the Marine Corps back in 1986. So it's wonderful that you do it. So on behalf of all of the service, thank you to the American Legion for putting this together and honoring our new inductees. And these events don't just happen. A lot of work went on behind the scenes, right? So just to recognize a couple folks from the caterers who are busy cleaning up. That was a fantastic meal, by the way. Awesome. Russell Catering, I think. Mayor Cantor, I know we just saw you. Where are you, Mayor? There you are. Okay. So if you were at the parade yesterday, you probably saw Mayor Cantor. How many cartwheels? 2 dozen at least. I mean, I was walking with the mayor, and she told me I'm going to do some cartwheels, and sure enough, it's like every 30, 40 meters, there's another cartwheel. But people were asking her for it, so it is great to have you here, Mayor. Thank you. Superintendent Moore, right back here, sir. Great to have you here, and thanks also for the support from all of the educators here, as well as our principals. I met the principal from Conard, Jamal Hines. Did I get that right? So yeah, and I told him, you know, when I was at Conard, if I saw the principal, it was typically not a good day. So it's great to be here and actually have a nice, polite conversation. And congratulations on your new position. It's great to see you. Heidi Ann Mooney, the post commander here. Fantastic words. Had a wonderful time getting to know Heidi a little bit yesterday. Thanks for taking on the mantle of the commander of the post here. I know that's a big job, and from everything that I've seen, you're doing a great job at it. The American Legion Honor Guard, gentlemen, where there you are back at the table. Okay, so hey, this is 2 days in a row. I had the honor and the good fortune to work with you and to serve with you and to observe your performance. And absolutely top notch. Thank you for the inductees who are here. You may serve in the capacity of an honor guard one day, so I hope you watch closely because you can learn a lot from these gentlemen. Thank you very much for your service. Declan Smith, National Anthem. Are you still here, Declan? Did he leave? Did the choralers leave also? Yeah, okay. Well, Sergeant Major, would you do us a favor and please pass on our appreciation? I mean, they were all just amazing, and the corralers look so sharp up here, just fantastic. So, and Sergeant Major Vicinius, I want to make sure I got that right. Thank you for your service and for helping out tonight, because as we noticed, we're talking about, without someone who's actually running the show behind the scenes, this doesn't happen. So thanks very much. Really well done tonight. I also had we had the honor of having Lisa and Ray Philippon sitting at our table. And if any of you want to meet a family who has sacrificed more than probably anybody else in this room, they are the couple to talk to tonight. Their son was a Lance Corporal in the United States Marine Corps, and we lost him back in 2005 in Al-Qaim, Iraq. They both served in the Army, extensive family service on at least Lisa's side. And so when we talk about families that truly have a connection to this country through service in the military, you certainly are emblematic of that. So thank you both for everything that you've done, and for your sacrifice also. So on to the main part of the night. So I want to offer my congratulations and gratitude to all of our inductees. As a couple of folks have said, you are stepping up and you are volunteering to serve in the armed forces of our nation. But we also recognize you didn't get here on your own. We've got family members here tonight, right? So as much as you have done to step forward and raise your right hand and give the oath, which most of you have done, your families were behind you, your teachers, your educators, the community was behind you. So for everyone who has helped to shape our inductees tonight, thanks for all your effort, because you're as responsible for them being here tonight as they are. For our inductees, so this is probably the most significant and important decision that you've made in your lives thus far. You're joining the countless number of Americans who have made a commitment to serve your country since the all-volunteer force was created back in 1973 by the Nixon administration. So our reliance on an all-volunteer force means that we get some really high-quality people, but it's also a really small fraction of our population. And to that point, out of about 335 million citizens in our country, just over a third of 1% is on active duty. And when you add in the reserves and the National Guard, that number bumps up to about 2/3 of 1%. So however you do the math, a really small percentage of America serves in our military. And that means it's a pretty exclusive organization that you're joining. You know, I said joining, and we need to make a differentiation here, okay? Because what you're actually doing, you are entering a professional armed service of the United States of America. You're not joining a team, you're not joining a club, you're not gaining, well, some of you are gaining acceptance into a very elite educational institution, but it is a military institution, okay? And as part of that, you raise your right hand, and I think all of you have done this already, and you give the oath of service to the United States of America, and it goes something like this. Say, I solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic, and to bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will obey the orders of the President and the officers appointed over me, according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice, so help me God. So I think all of you have probably said that. Is that right? Yeah, okay. You got to think about those words because they really mean an awful lot. It's something we have to be clear-eyed about, because while we return the vast majority of our service members back to the nation as better citizens, you can't discount the risk that we accept in defending the nation, because our military exists to deter potential enemies and defend the nation through force as needed. And conflict results in the loss of blood and treasure, as we all should have been reminded yesterday as the nation observed Memorial Day. So I mentioned this just to drive home my earlier point. You are not joining a team or a club, you're entering into the military services of these United States, and it does involve risk. So hopefully that sounds familiar to you, and you take it to heart as you enter the armed forces of our country. So we're honoring our inductees tonight for their decision to enter our armed forces, but also remind them of the responsibility that goes with this. As a service member, you represent not just yourself, but your family, your community, your service, and ultimately your country. So what you do and what you say are critically important because they can have consequences and effects far beyond those of the average citizen. It's also important to recognize that when you enter the service, you immediately inherit the legacy of those who've served before you. Those men and women who wore the cloth of the nation and defended the freedoms we enjoy today. Now, as a Marine, that's really important to me. I know for Heidi Ann down here, also as a Marine, very important to her. And I suspect for every other veteran or actively serving member of our armed forces, they will say the same thing, okay? This is really important because eventually we're going to pass along our legacy to those who follow us, which here tonight is you, as our inductees. So as you enter the service, you're joining the roughly 1.3 million men and women who are operating in a pretty challenging and complex national security environment. So this is the big picture that kind of drives everything that the military does, from planning or operating on a day-to-day basis. And you look at the recent headlines, you don't have to read too far to just kind of have an understanding of just how challenging the world is right now. A resurgent Russia that's invaded Ukraine and is threatening the balance of power in Europe. A rising China that's exerting her influence, not just in the Pacific, but globally. Destabilizing regimes in North Korea and Iran, complicated and made more dangerous by the proliferation of nuclear and ballistic missile technology. Resilient and destabilizing threats from violent extremist organizations and terrorist groups. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, the Haqqani Network, just some of the 58 that are listed on the Department of State's terror network, or list of foreign terror organizations. And then there's the relatively new and frankly increasingly dangerous threats in the cyber and information domains. This is kind of new to a lot of us, but they target vulnerabilities well beyond our defense and government networks. And that happens every day. It's happening right now. It's just something to be aware of. And of course, there's the increasing frequency of destructive weather events often attributed to climate change, from the immediate effects of hurricanes and fires to the long-term effects of drought and sea level rise. And all of this is in the context of a persistent global pandemic that doesn't respect national borders or populations, and pretty likely it's going to be the new normal for us for some time to come. So clearly, it's a pretty tough world out there, right? And you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, what am I getting myself into? But this is exactly why we need the best and most talented people in our country to be willing to step up and help the rest of the nation, and frankly, the world, work through these challenges. And as daunting as they may sound, I'm exceptionally confident in your ability to do so. And a couple of reasons for my confidence. So, number one, you've already made the decision that you want to be part of something bigger than yourself, to put service before self and the interests of your fellow citizens and service members before your own. You bring an amazing skill set with you. I should say skill sets. The one I'm going to anchor on here for a moment is the fact that you're digital natives. You're completely comfortable with the rapidly evolving technology that is fundamentally transforming how the U.S. military will operate and fight. And you think about this, okay? How many of you had a cell phone, maybe even an iPhone or a Samsung, a smartphone, pretty early on in life? A couple maybe? All right, yeah, a couple. So as I think about this and the skill sets that you bring forward and how we're going to develop our service members going forward, you're completely comfortable with a cell phone. Some of you have probably flown a drone before, right? And if you haven't done it already, some of you are probably going to be introduced to 3D printers, so when you are flying your drone from your cell phone and you crash it, you can print the replacement part to fix your drone and you're back in business. When I think about the capabilities that brings forward for our Marines, our soldiers, our sailors, our airmen who are forward deployed, it is just amazing, and you're at the forefront of it, and you're going to be on the cutting edge of all that. So it's really, really a great time to be joining up. You're going to have superb leadership in the military. They're going to provide you with the basic skills and the building blocks to be successful, both during your service and then throughout your life. And just like Monsignor said, that first drill instructor or sergeant instructor that you get, they really do care a lot about you. It's not going to seem that way right off the bat. I guarantee you it's not, but they do. And they have your best interests at heart, so pay attention to them. And I would also say that you have the confidence and support of your family, your community, and your nation. And this ceremony is a direct reflection of that support, which you will see time and again during your time in service. So I'm getting close to the end here, so let me just reiterate how proud I am of all of you and your decision to enter the Armed Forces of the United States of America. I will tell you that my experience has been better than I ever could have imagined when I entered the Marine Corps Officer Candidate course back in October 1986. And it's to the point that I envy the opportunity that you have in front of you, and I wish I could do it all over again. I'm also glad that I don't have to compete with you, because I tell you what, you are an amazing group of people, and you're going to do just fine out there. You're going to help lead our nation forward as we navigate the challenges ahead. I'd also say you have a wonderful life ahead of you, full of opportunity, and your military service will play a big part. You're also probably embarking on the best job that you will ever have, but you won't know that until you get out of the service. It's going to be that great, okay? I hope you see fit to appreciate and enjoy the opportunity in front of you. Congratulations again to all of you and to your families. I wish you all Godspeed and best wishes for future success. Semper Fidelis.
Thank you, General Banta, for your inspiring remarks. We'll now begin the portion of the program where we recognize the young men and women who have made a commitment to serve their country. Will the presenters please come up here on stage at this time? Each honoree will receive a special cord, which when worn during their graduation ceremony recognizes them as having made the decision to join the armed forces. They'll also be given a certificate of commendation and an American Legion thank you coin. So we're going to have each one come up. When I read your names, please come on up to the stage, okay? First person will be Hugh Baldwin of Conard High School. He'll be attending my alma mater. Hugh will be attending the United States Military Academy at West Point. Hugh, good luck during Beast Barracks in July. You'll lose about 15 pounds. And you don't need to have a haircut because one size fits all. Next person to come up will be Camden Carpenter of Hall High School. He'll be enrolling. In Army ROTC at Yukon. Enjoy your runs at 0 Dark 100 when your roommates are in bed, okay? Next honoree will be Jesus Citron of Newington High School. He'll be joining the United States Air Force. They'll probably be going to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio. It's a great place to be in the summer. Rarely gets below 100 degrees. Next honoree is Daniel Raymond of Kingswood Oxford School. Daniel will be enrolled in Army ROTC at the University of New Hampshire. And when he makes General Officer, he's agreed to come back and be our speaker here. Our next honoree is Emonie Laurent of Conard High School. Emonie will be joining the Army National Guard and probably visiting such scenic sites as Fort Dix, New Jersey, or Fort Jackson, South Carolina. She plans on attending CCSU, and as everybody knows, Army National Guard, your tuition is waived. if you go to a state school. Next honoree is James Mill of Newington High School. James will be joining the United States Navy. He'll be doing his basic training at Great Lakes Naval Station in Michigan. I sure hope you don't get seasick. Next honoree is Adam Morhardt of Conard High School. Adam will be attending United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. Like his classmate Hugh, he'll go through cadet basic training, and after 4 years, he'll head off in the wild blue yonder. Next honoree is Kevin Nguyen of Conard High School. Kevin will be attending United States Naval Academy at Annapolis and become a squid. I'm sorry, I meant a midshipman. I think he might look better in Army green, but congratulations. That is an option. That is an option. That is an option. Next honoree is Conard Ravenberg of Hall High School. He'll be joining the Army National Guard. Brennan, come on. Joining him on stage is his brother Brennan, who graduated from Hall High School and enlisted in the Army National Guard. He is at UConn, and his brother will be joining him at UConn. And both of them will then go to basic training and then join the National Guard. We were unable to honor Brennan because of COVID when he graduated from high school. Next honoree is Stella Reisinger of Kingswood Oxford School. She'll be entering the ROTC program at Tulane University this fall, and she'll be able to tour New Orleans on her early 6 a.m. morning runs. Don't stop in any bars. And the next honoree is Marvin Romero Sanchez of Conard High School. Marvin will join the Army National Guard, and after basic and advanced military skills training, he'll be joining one of the units here in the state. The next honoree is Carlos Ruiz of Conard High School. Carlos will be joining the Army Air Guard and probably be found flying out of Bradley Airfield, maybe in that C-130 that you saw going over during the parade. Another honoree is Connor Smith. Connor of Conard High School. Connor will also be joining the United States Navy, probably go to Great Lakes Naval Training Station, and then ship out and see the world. Our next honoree is Chinmay Bat of Conard High School. He'll also be joining the United States Navy. And for his 13 weeks of basic training, you'll earn $5,000. Congratulations, you'll be a rich man. There are 5 honorees who were unable to attend tonight. I'll just read their names, and where they'll be going. Paul Lawless of Newington High School was unable to attend. He'll be joining the Army National Guard. Aiden Kotowitz of Hall High School will be joining the United States Air Force. Jhayden Harris of Newington High School will be joining the United States Navy. And General, we have 2 Marines here who couldn't make it. Michael Medina of Newington High School will be joining the United States Marine Corps. And Nith Monet of Conard High School joined the United States Marine Corps in January. She was an early graduate. She shipped out to do her basic training at Parris Island, and she is now at Camp Lejeune getting advanced military training. So those are the 20 honorees. Let's give them all a hand, please. At this time, I'd like to thank the presenters. You may all return to your seats except for General. And also Tom Moore, get back here.
So on behalf of the Legion, we want to thank you so much for both serving as our Grand Marshal in the parade and your great words at the ceremony afterwards, and then also for being here tonight. And we're thankful that your family lives here, that you were able to see them, and that your daughters could come in as well. So thank you so much. That's for you. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
Just very briefly, I think it was 2015 that I first met Tom at a veterans event, and I proposed the idea of having a ceremony such as this. The first thing he said was, "Go see Paul Vasilis." And it was the best thing we ever did. Tom, thank you so much. We're going to miss you, and if you'd like to come back next year, we'll provide you with an airline ticket. Thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Lorna Thomas Harkison, Chairperson of the West Hartford Board of Education, to offer some closing remarks.
Thank you so much. That was a pleasant surprise. I was not expecting an escort. But good evening to all of you. It is quite an honor to stand here before you. First, protocol has been established with all of the individuals being recognized, but certainly want to recognize again, Madam Mayor, thank you so much for being here. And to my fellow Board of Education colleagues, I see Gail Harris is here, our Vice Chair Deb Poland, and Claire Nessarella is here. And in spirit, our other members are here as well, Irie Steinberg, Jason Chang, and Ethan Goldman. And I certainly want to acknowledge and recognize Ethan Goldman in particular because he is a veteran. And with his service in the Army is something that he is proud of, and he wants to extend his wishes to all of you, as well as his son as well. Specifically, he was a part of the U.S. Army Field, U.S. Army Field. I'll leave it with that. So greetings to you from Ethan. But I have to say, tonight is quite a significant night. And to all of you, all that you have accomplished, and I'm thinking about the past 2.5 years, all that we have gone through, something called a pandemic. And with that, you all have persevered. And with that, you soon will be graduating. And with that, you could have easily said, you know what? I just want to move forward in my life and live my life with ease. Live my life with less complications, because I had a lot that I had to go through. But you chose not to do that. And it reminds me of a motto that we often reference in our school district, but it's one that applies to all school districts. And actually, it applies to everyone, whether young or old. And that is clear paths, bright future, no limits. Clear paths, bright future, no limits. And all of you here who we are recognizing, all of you who have been inducted, are clearly demonstrating that. No limits. You have chosen not to limit what you are striving for. And with your choice to go into the armed forces, we are so grateful to you. We are so grateful for your decision to serve. And thinking about your decision to serve, I had the quite pleasure of sitting at a table with a young lady who was inducted, and I asked her, well, what motivated her to serve? And I'm going to share what she said because I was given permission to do so. She said, I'm resilient. I'm determined. I want to protect our country. I'm resilient. I am determined. I want to protect our country. And I imagine those words may resonate with many of you, whether those that are newly going into the armed forces or those who are veterans. We certainly thank you for your service. I am resilient. I am determined. I want to protect our country. These flags here represent our country in totality. It represents all of those who are part of our country, regardless of what you look like, your size, your shape, where you come from. All of us who are from this country, these flags represent you are going into the armed forces to protect us and honor what our country stands for. There was a quote I came across some time ago that I want to share with you, and it reads, "For those who have fought for it, freedom has a taste the protected will never know. For those who have lost it, freedom has a taste that the protected will never appreciate." We want to appreciate you. We do appreciate you. You are helping to keep us safe because we know freedom is not cost-free. We are so grateful to you for what you are stepping into. We are proud of you. West Hartford, Newington, wherever you may be from, will always be your home. We thank you for your service. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Before closing, we're going to have the benediction shortly, but would all the honorees please rise, and your parents please stand up so we can thank you and congratulate you for all the hard work. Parents and honorees, stand up. Barry Leghorn, the American Legion Post Chaplain, will now offer the benediction. Everybody please stand for the benediction.
May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord hold his countenance upon you and give you his peace from this day forward. Amen.
Thank you, Barry. This concludes our ceremony, but I'd like to ask the honorees that are here to come up to the stage. No, come up right here. We're going to have a group picture of all of you together, okay? Thank you very, very much for coming. Thank you, General Banta.